Hey, what is going on everyone? Welcome back to another Clash Royale video, and in today's video we are going to be discussing the 2v2 double elixir draft challenge. Now, I went around on social media and man, I was really surprised to see the amount of people complaining about this event because everyone wants that legendary chest, am I right? First time Supercell is offering such a great reward at only 9 wins really. I mean, we've had the legendary card challenges that have given us free legendaries at 12 wins and stuff, but this is the first time we get a random legendary really. So that's pretty awesome, and I'm sure a lot of you really want to get your hands on this. So in this video we're going to be discussing the draft tips really and the double elixir draft tips. So it's 2v2 also in the mix of this year, so it's pretty chaotic, but I'll just try to section off everything really so you can just learn about one part of the event at a time and then put together your ideas really that you've heard from the video here and just form your own opinion about everything. So for the draft mode itself, there's gonna be really 4 people in the arena at once. Your partners are gonna be random. You're gonna be the only thing that remains constant in your matches, so do not blame your teammates. I mean, we all know that there are a lot of noobs out there really, or at least people with bad internet connections and stuff too, so things aren't always gonna look up for you, and the same thing can really be said about your opponent. So just keep in mind everyone has the same share of bad luck so don't think it's just you. The challenge itself, there's gonna be 7 minutes of gameplay overall, 3 minutes of regular gameplay, 3 minutes of overtime, and 1 minute of drafting time. Keep in mind that this drafting time is very important and you might want to use it very wisely, so don't be in a hurry to take any of your cards. Now, since there's 4 people in the arena, there will be 32 cards going around, and among these cards really you are going to be able to choose 4 of them, your partner is going to choose 4 of them, and your opponents can do the same basically. So when you all are done drafting your cards, each of you are going to just send over your refuse cards basically to the opponent, and everyone is going to have to work with random cards basically after that. You know half your deck, you don't know half your deck. The nice thing however is that when you're drafting, you're going to be able to see what your teammate is picking and what he gives your opponents. So while you're picking your cards, I would advise you all to just take a look at what your partner chooses and what he gives to your opponents. That way, while you are making your own choices, you can actually decide for yourself how to either counter what he gave your opponents or how to support what cards he or she might have taken. So let's keep that in mind and you should be golden there. Now on to our next tip. Okay, so when you're playing in the draft mode itself, or just 2v2 really, we all know that there's this button here that you can see any of the 4 cards that your partner has in hand, and this is a really helpful tool. Trust me guys, it is really helpful because you can just press that at any point in time in the battle, and if you look at it you can see what cards your ally has in hand, and not only that, you can actually judge the amount of elixir they have based on the cards that they have available. So what I mean by this is that you would normally see your cards in kind of like a gray color really when they when you're charging up elixir for them, and if you don't have the amount it remains gray, but if you do have the right amount to use them, they turn, well, normal colors, right? So you can use those as indicators to just check how much elixir your partner has, so you can know if it's safe to really roll any heavy card or just what cards you might want to use, or if your partner is going to be broken elixir when your enemy is pushing at you. So all that is just handy to keep in mind. And let's see, what else do we have here? So I mentioned in the 2v2 draft mode tips that you would want to keep your internet connection stable. So yeah, just check the internet connection as well, make sure that is good and that your battery is charged and stuff, because we do not want any technical difficulties. Again, mute all your social media, because if you're going into a match and you're gonna have Facebook notifications popping up, or maybe someone is messaging you on WhatsApp or I don't know, Messenger or something, it can get really annoying. So just mute everything for your own good. And when you're drafting your cards, just think about what you give them. If you can take something like an executioner over a minion horde, that will work in your favor. Maybe when you have princess and arrows, you might be tempted to take the arrows, but at times it might be better to take the princess, because usually the princess, if she's placed at the bridge and there's nothing in her way, you can actually get it to lock onto the tower and get a quick shot off. Let's see, what else do we got here? Now, I already mentioned taking cards that would synergize well with your partner and stuff, so we don't need to get into that. What else? Okay, so in these challenges here, we're gonna be playing in double elixir basically, right? And let me just say up front here that the heavier cards are in fact very good. However, not all of them will work in your favor. If you're going to be taking every single heavy card in the game, of course you're setting yourself up for failure. Now, if you take 1 or 2 heavy cards and 1 or 2 medium cost cards, it might work out better. So I would say cards that were working good in this event would be the P.E.K.K.A, the Royal Giant, the Lava Hound, and the Golem. Those are the 4 biggest tanks that I would have seen working fairly well. The Giant, he's kind of average actually, because he just dies out really fast when you think about the amount of counters that your opponents can have to. But where the Royal Giant is concerned, you can keep spamming him at the bridge basically, or just placing him in the back to build up that slow but deadly push, and it can get a lot of damage done very well over the course of the match. And when you think about it, really, the Royal Giant, he almost always gets 2 or 3 shots on the tower unless your opponent has perfect counters like a Inferno Tower or something, and even then, Inferno Tower is not gonna do perfectly well because of the amount of spam troops that you might have. And speaking of spam, you might also want to keep a lot of splash troops handy. Now the reason why I say take splash troops is because you're gonna have a heck of a lot of troops coming at you at any given point in time, and single target units aren't gonna do the job fairly well. So taking things like a princess, a wizard, executioner, baby dragon, all of that is going to help out a lot, because you can get rid of a lot of things in just a short amount of time. If anything, you'll at least mitigate everything just fairly well, rather than a mini P.E.K.K.A versus, like, let's say barbarians or something like that. You know the barbarians are going to break through the mini P.E.K.K.A and get to your tower. But yeah, keep the splash troops, take 1 or 2 distraction cards. Don't take too many, because again, everyone is probably going to take something that can splash, or they're going to take a spell that can be really handy. And let me just say, the heavy spells are beasts in this challenge. If you can get value rockets, lightning, fireball, poison, you're going to be sitting golden. And the cheaper cards are also good, the log and zap, but I would definitely say I would go with the log this time. I'm a big zap fan, but the log is killing it because you can keep things off of your tower, and it has that area of denial, all of that. It works out pretty well. Now, spells aside, you might want to take yourself a couple win conditions. So these win conditions obviously can be one of the tanks such as the Royal Giant and stuff, but you can also opt in a Hog Rider maybe. Like if you can get one big tank and your partner can take a Hog Rider, or the other way around, it can work out pretty well, because you can just have that one big tank for a slow beatdown push, or you can just have a light push with the Hog Rider on the opposite lane when they're busy with that beatdown push. So that's something I did once in a while, I think, in some of the matches, and it kind of works because they'll be addressing the beatdown push with almost everything they got, and they'll be broke on elixir. Even though it's double elixir, chances are that at times you might overcommit due to miscommunications, and they can just really suffer a lot from that one split push. And while we are on the topic of miscommunication, let me just say that it is important that you should just hover some of your cards in between, just to give your partner an idea of what you have in mind, because you can just communicate some possible moves that you would want to do by, let's say, hovering a goblin barrel. They might send a miner with it, or maybe hovering arrows and they have a Hog Rider, or anything like that, or lightning, anything like that. Really just hover your cards and give your partner a good idea of what you might want to do, and they will look around and see what cards that they have in mind to just use with it. So teamwork is going to be key, and if your partner hovers cards as well, do not, I repeat, do not overcommit defense. Think about what the card will do and how it will need supporting. So let's say if they drop a musketeer for a knight and they have, I don't know, elite barbs behind it, don't drop another single target unit. Drop something that's kind of swarmy, maybe like skeletons, goblin gang, minions, or anything that can distract whatever is coming behind the knight. So yeah, just do all that there and you should be fine. And remember guys, it's double freaking elixir. Do not sit on your elixir. I repeat, do not sit on your elixir. things are going to be coming at you really hard and really darn fast. So yeah, just do not, I repeat, do not waste your elixir, because every little drop of elixir that you have in your storage there, it matters a lot. So just make the most of it and just play smart. Know when to invest your elixir in a heavy troop, and know when to cycle with a spell or any troop really, for that matter. Even the buildings, for crying out loud, they're handy, but things generally work out better with the spells and the troops. The buildings help only so much. Yeah, so just keep those things in mind. Now, I think I gave just about all the tips that I can give for this video, so let's just take a look at some of the gameplay itself, and I'll try my best to help you all just understand why I'm making some of these decisions. And I apologize for the lag there. So, in this match here, we are fighting with the Royal Giant Golem Graveyard, Lava Hound and stuff. So here, we are just going to be poisoning that area there to try to keep an area of denial from any sort of spam troops from our opponents really, to just lay into the Royal Giant. And we are going to just brute force push our way with our own giant here while they just rush with balloons. The balloons as well, they were also pretty decent. In fact, if you can get balloon and mirror and your opponent has like no solid troops such as an electro wizard or musketeer, you can have a high likelihood of getting that balloon to the tower, and it works out pretty well because I actually went on a balloon parade just like one of the other videos that I had before, and it was pretty darn funny because they had almost no answer to the balloon and they just had to sit there and try their best to cycle to some counters. Okay, so this next match here, we're gonna take the tornado obviously, and Prince or elites. I'm gonna take the Prince for defense, and guards or skeleton army, that's not a question for me to ask because I'm gonna take the guards there just to defend better, and giant or witch. Now if I give them the witch, they have more things to splash with, so I am definitely gonna go with her over the giant because she can also do quite a number on the giant because of the skeletons that she spawns, plus she has the area of denial when she splashes certain places. And if you take a look at what my partner had just now, he actually took the night witch, so we are rocking double witches here. And the graveyard, we have quite a lot of spooky things, to be honest. We have graveyard as well, and the guards. Things are looking pretty good for us here, and I know that they had the lightning, so take a look at what I do here. I drop the regular witch on the other lane there because I did not want them to get that lightning value. Unfortunately for our opponents, they do drop the lightning on the musketeer alone, and that is going to cost them really in the long run because the night witch gets to continue living for another day. And they are trying their best to push through this here. They are trying their best, but look at this. Dart Goblin and Witch MVP there. They managed to shut down everything, and we have a small counter push going here. And look at this. Dart Goblin going to town. My partner here wastes a bandit sort of because she does not get to do anything. I was debating whether or not to use the log on the left or the right. I figured, well, that was probably a dead push there, so it did not make sense using it there. And look at this. Balloon is incoming, and things are not looking good for us here. They're lightning down the witch. I had to tornado the balloon back. See how handy that tornado was, guys? And look at this. Both opponents here have rage. Isn't that interesting? So that's basically two cards that they can't really use properly there, unless they have a miraculous push going. And look at this. Guards, so efficient on defense. They managed to clean up the Ewiz and stuff there. Clearly, just... oh my god, the guards are really good right now. My partner wastes this mortar here, and we are back up to the Prince. Look at this. Prince on defense, just tearing up those elite bobs. They do fireball our witch, and we continue going here. Now, this is where the trouble begins. We are gonna log, and that log works out so well there. We do get the Prince to get pretty darn far on the other side. Prince does not connect, and look at this. It's time for a spooky surprise. We drop the graveyard, and look at this. They have to drop the giant to absorb the shot. If we had a zap spell, you know what would go really good there? We would have actually zapped it, and the musketeer would have remained locked onto the tower, and it would have been distracted by all the skeletons. And that is a dirty trick that you can pull off, and it can really screw over people in the long run. Now look at this. We drop a defensive giant, and we're going to tornado that balloon away again. Once more, we cannot, I repeat, not let that balloon get that damage onto the tower there. Things are looking really nice here. And we're poisoning again, and graveyard. That does not look good for the enemy there. And this mortar, so helpful, like I said in the last video. It is going to be helping us as a ranged support, basically. And the Royal Giant and balloon. We were really scared about this here, so what I do here just to keep things good here, we pull everything back there so that the balloon goes into range of the archers and stuff, and The clock is ticking down on our opponents here, and we're trying our best just to try to get to the tower there. And look at this, with the log and the graveyard and the musketeer doing her damage. Look at this, we managed to get that second crown right as the timer runs out there, so that was pretty darn awesome. And let's just move into our next fight and see what's gonna happen. Alrighty guys, this is gonna be our last fight for today's video. So after this we're gonna get straight to the rewards, and then we'll see what goes on in the next video. So Golem or Hog Rider, I take the Golem. Archers or Musketeer, I take the Musketeer. Freeze or Rage, I have to go with the Freeze. The Rage isn't gonna help me much. And Log or Poison. Now this one was the toughest choice of all, so I was just waiting to see what my partner would choose so that I could have a good idea of what I'd want to take to make everything count. So I see that he grabbed the Golem, so I opt to take the Poison there, and my partner has the Sparky and Dart Goblin as well as the Fire Spirits. So he's got a lot of heavier cards when you look at it. He's got Giant, Sparky, Golem. He even has a Minion Horde next. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Now our opponents here, they see us start up the Golem in the back, and I'm just trying to figure out what to do with my hand here. So I poisoned the Pump and the Witch. I know I did not get the Witch much there, but I still touched her a little bit with the poison, so that's what mattered to me most. And look at this, they are coming in with a Hog Rider, and I'm gonna drop an Electro Wizard there, and we do manage to prevent, I think, most of the damage. Hog does get 2 swings, but we are rushing again once more, and things do not look good for the Golem there. The Golem goes down in smoke, but the Hog Rider, Electro Wizard and Musketeer on the right, they did do a significant amount of damage. So I am dropping my Dart Goblin there in the middle there to try and take out both the Ice Wizards on both ends there, and look at that, beautiful. They did quite a number on the troops that were coming at us. Now we've got a Golem Hog Rider. That was interesting. So I opt to freeze, and we do drop the Electro Wizard and stuff in the middle there, so that Hog Rider is not gonna go too far before he dies. And look at this, we have 2 Dart Goblins on our side. They're just shooting away at that Golem like machine guns. I swear guys, the Dart Goblin, they are just so strong right now because they just fire so darn fast. Once they cross that bridge, you are almost guaranteed 1 to 2 shots on the tower there because of how fast they shoot, almost regardless of their HP. That alone could tell you how strong they are. And look at this, we have quad archers and a princess there on the enemy side, so that's pretty interesting. We're gonna have to log that back there, I believe. Unfortunately there, I don't know what my partner is doing anymore. He's just trying to build a Golem Sparky push, and it is actually working out. We dropped the Hog Rider there to keep the pressure up, and look at this, Sparky, not to be underestimated there. She is surviving so many spells. She survived Fireball, she survived Log. Look at that. If she was not distracted by that Goblin gang there, I think it is, she would have actually taken out the tower there. We go again straight at it with the Golem for Golem there, and they are dropping their Hog Rider there, so I'm trying my best to stop the Hog. My partner logs it back. We do prevent any big set of damage being done, and look at this, we are back up to the Dart Goblins. Again, they are going ham on defense, and look at this, our opponents are rushing us with Golem. They're just trying to break our line of defense, but look at this, we managed to build up such a strong push. It is insane, folks. Look at this, we have so many supporting units there. I would cry if that was 1v1 there. I would not be able to handle that. Again, they're pushing the other lane now, so we are trying to defend with the Minion Horde there, and time is running out. We do take another tower there, and that is gonna be GG for our opponents because Sparky locks onto the Ice Wizard there, unfortunately, and we do manage to take a 2-crown win there without losing the tower. Our opponents say oops, and that is gonna be a good game, well played, and better luck next time. Okay folks, now at 3 wins we are gonna get 30 commons, and what are we gonna get? We get a bunch of mortars. Okay, that is fine. Now let's move on to the next reward. We're gonna get about 10 rares at 5 wins, and what do we get? 10 fireballs. Not bad. People request those in my other clan. And let's see, for 7 wins we are gonna get a total of 2 epics. What are we gonna get here folks? And it's Rage. Kind of disappointed in the epic there, but what am I gonna do? And now we are at 9 wins, and we're gonna get that juicy legendary chest, and let's open it up and see what we can get in it. Not sure why it's labeled Arena 10, but oh well. So our legendary card is gonna be maybe a miner, a graveyard maybe, I don't know, and it's a princess. Okay, we'll take that. Princess, not too bad overall. Let's see what else we can get in the next chest. So the challenger chest, 1100 gold and 50 cards with 5 rares. Let's see what we can get from it. and 1100 gold, 11 bats, 33 minions, 5 fireballs, and a P.E.K.K.A. Okay folks, that's not so bad. We can deal with all of those cards there. Yeah, pretty good rewards overall. Okay folks, that is going to be it for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed, and if these tips did help you, do remember to share the video and maybe even check it back when the events come back up in the future. It might just help you out. So once again everyone, if you all are looking for free banners and logos for your new channel, do check out my friend Ryan in the description down below. I'm sure he can fix you up with something nice. Now as always folks, just remember, if you keep on digging, you'll eventually strike gold, but even then, keep on digging deeper. You'll eventually come across something even more worth your while. So once again everyone, thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace out guys.